In the run-up to Christmas, Sky News is looking at how people across the country are coping as the economy goes down the tubes or begins to recover from recession. Today, I'm going to be speaking to Jenny Perry. Jenny set up a charity called evictims.org, and that supports people dealing with what are called security problems online. Tell us more, Jennifer, about what you used to do.
Well, eVictims was a website that helped victims of all online crime, whether it be fraud, online harassment, stalking, anything to do with online crime, because there wasn't a place for victims dealing with internet issues to go.
Right, and a small charity like yours, which has been closed down because of lack of funding, how difficult is it to have alternative sources of funding?
I think today it's really difficult to get a sustainable charity going. You have to have a full-time fundraiser. If you want government funding, you need a full-time lobbyist. The government has lots of consultations, lots of meetings for charities in which you have to supply someone free of charge to the government to attend. And you have to have boards of trustees in which you have to pay, or at least pay their expenses. So even before you start the charitable work, there's quite a big expense incurred for a charity.
Yes. Well, what do you actually do? What will be missed of what you do?
Well, I think the difficulty is that online crime is moving very quickly, and the organizations and the enforcement agencies are lagging behind. So when a victim calls the police or they call a support charity, the information they get is often wrong. They often get fobbed off and told there's nothing they can do. And actually, they can be put at more risk of becoming a victim again of crime, because the criminals will have not only their credit card details, but things like their emails and passwords, which they can use to perpetrate additional crime. So if the victims aren't getting the information, they can become victims again. And they also feel like they're victimized by the system because there's no one there to help them that understands online issues.
You see, this brings up a question to me, small charities like this not receiving funding, having to close down. And we had the Prime Minister talking about his big society. And it seems to me like charities like yours, organisations like yours, could benefit from the so-called big society. But then if the big society really were real, we would all be out in the streets today with shovels, clearing paths for neighbours and things. Do you think there is a role for the big society, or do you think it's all nonsense?
I think it's an idealistic statement, and what I'd like to see is, you know, in the United States, corporations and individuals get tax deductions for donating to charities. And so there's a lot more corporate responsibilities. Corporations get engaged with charities because of the tax breaks. So unless you're starting to incentivize people to create more of a culture of a big society, then I don't think it's going to happen. Just asking people to be nicer isn't going to work.
Very interesting. You should be a politician. That's a very good idea. Tax incentives for giving to charity. Jennifer, good luck. I hope it turns out well for you. Thank you very much indeed for explaining all of that. Thank you.